Radical.
Welcome to part 3 of Radical Rapid Fire cover response for February 28th through March 6, 2022. Short comments, quick replies. Mal's detergent. Cody, Camelot331, looks like Heath Ledger's Joker in the thumbnail. You want to know how I got these scars? Working at GameStop. Doggone it. Yeah, see, I do this thing with the pictures of YouTubers. And what I do is I'll actually take them and I'll make my artistic renditions of it. And that one, I put a very, very heavy contrast and lighting on it. And when I got done, I laughed because it looked like, that's what I thought. It looked kind of like Joker. It did. I guess I could have maybe did some more with it. Maybe I could have put some red, but that would take far too much time. But yeah, a lot of people notice that, and it's pretty funny. Sometimes I really don't know how they're going to come out, and sometimes they just look grotesque or horrendous or whatnot. Hades is Anami. Hey Rick, if you have time, check out the Lady Emily YouTube channel. She has put out a deep dive into James Rolfe. Video is called A Deep Dive into the Cinemassacre Backlash. It's almost 2 hours, but as John Hancock would say, you may want to get yourself some popcorn. JBH? John Hancock? Who says that? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank here. But anyways, back on that upload. Number one, my question would be, is that an e-begging channel? You know, I tend to, really not care about watching a lot of e-begging channels. So does Lady Emily have a Patreon? Do people enjoy that upload and want to give to her a Patreon? You know what I don't really like is the thought of spending 2 hours of my life watching a documentary on a YouTuber. And it's just hilarious. I mean, like the thought that I would spend 2 hours to watch a documentary on, of all things, a YouTuber, when I guess she's just going into why people don't like him anymore, whatever. It's simple. It's the lack of focus on the AVGN or whatever, and then the focus on the band. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives two shits about that band. And that's mostly what it is, I save y'all 2 hours. That's what it is. People just don't like Rex Viper. They don't like all the focus on Rex Viper. So, it's what it is. Awesome03, he actually confessed it to a priest when he was in jail before he was sadly killed. Plus, he's a Catholic Christian. This was on my upload talking about Jeffrey Dahmer. The people eater Jeffrey Dahmer. I responded to Awesome03, sadly killed? It's sad when an innocent old lady gets hit by a car, not when a people eater gets put down. That's how I see it to be. That's how I view it. There's all these people with these religious arguments, Jeffrey Dahmer, he confessed to a priest and then he's going to be in heaven. Like, no. I don't want no people eater in heaven with me. Okay? You hearing me out, God? If you're up there, I don't want to be up there. I don't want the people eater knobbling on my ankles when I get up there, all right? There are certain animals that have rabies that need to be put down, in my humble opinion. And a person that eats the brains of another human being probably needs to be put down for the good of everyone, for the good of society. S Block 2, late state capitalism. No longer are you paying for what something is worth. You are paying as much someone can get you to pay. It's this tired argument people make about capitalism and something's only worth as much as people are actually willing to pay for it. I talked about cars the other day. Did I mention how I called? Maybe I didn't mention this, but I called around the Corvette dealerships. I was a little interested in possibly getting a new Corvette. I saw reviews on it and I said, you know what? That's the kind of vehicle that might open the doors to get me some more higher level trim. Ferraris, your Corvettes, they sometimes open doors. Not for long relationships or whatever, because you don't want a kind of woman that would get with you just because of the car you drive. But for short flings, yeah, those are great tools for that. But apparently, there is a $5,000 down payment and a 2-year waiting list. So not only do you have to pay $5,000 down, but you got to wait 2 years to get a Corvette. Hell, I might not be alive in 2 years. I might get hit by a bus tomorrow. The hell, a 2-year waiting list? So what are you going to do? Well, you got to pay $200,000 to a person that owns it or whatever. The Corvette is not worth whatever people are paying for it. It's just not. I'm sorry, it's not. There's a recommended price on it. It's around 60,000, but people paying 160,000 to get one, no, it's just a waste. Troy Bilko, car dealerships have zero new stock almost and are charging above sticker price. Used car sales are about 60% of their business now. If you go on lots, you can see older models all over the place. Wherever you go, I've heard stories people tell me, wherever they go, you go to a lot, they'll actually ask to buy your car before they try to sell you another car. Let me repeat that. They'll ask to buy your vehicle if, they like it, it looks very nice and everything, because they know they can triple whatever they pay you for your vehicle. And then you might drive by the same lot in a different car that they sold you and be like, the hell? They gave me $5,000 for that car. Now they're charging $15,000? And you go up to them and you say, like, listen, why didn't you pay me more for this? You didn't tell me you were going to charge triple its price. Well, we'll cut you a deal on it. We'll sell it to you back to you for $10,000. Vultures they are, vultures. Dumez, the car sales lady, I wonder how her snapper is. The slot, how is the slot? I'm not even going to respond to this. You know who's going to respond to this one? Albert Menendez. She's got a hot hatch. Love it, man, love it. One of the best responses, I would say, of this month so far. Or last month, whenever this was. Was it February? Was it early March? Not sure. But yeah, one of the best. Will's VG Addiction. My car was rear-ended in September. Car was deemed a total loss about a month ago, so I've been looking for a used car in the short term. I'm having similar issues. Anything with less than 5K has torn and stained seats, random wires hanging, and just look like trash. Still looking. Oh, you know what? You can get a cheap car, Will. You can go to a lot, and you could about throw up when you see what you see when you open the doors. I opened the doors of some of those cars I was looking at that were about, $3,000-$4,000, and it looked like dry throw up. Like they didn't even clean the cars out. That's what's terrible now. They know what the market is. They'll actually take the car and they'll be like, you can buy it, whatever. People will buy it. But like, seriously, these cars look bad. Bad. They didn't even take the time to clean them out. Or, some wires hanging in the back where speakers used to be, whatnot, didn't even take the time to either snip the wires or, tuck them in. They just didn't care. Sinister Moon. I haven't had to buy a car right now, but it does suck because I wanted a different car. I had my eye on a newer Toyota RAV4 because I want something great on gas and switchable all-wheel drive. And now I'm just going to hold on to my Scion. It's still a great car, but it's awful in snow. Yeah, no doubt probably a Scion would be really bad in snow. Have you looked into Subarus? Maybe used old Subarus? I mean, they're not really fancy and everything, but if you want a four-wheel drive, maybe a used Subaru and whatnot. Yeah, you have your eye on a Toyota RAV4? Ooh, man! I would not do that until maybe next year when prices come down. Of all the used cars, or even new cars, or slightly used cars, Toyota and Hondas are up there. Martyville, can you imagine big companies like Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft had Patreon links to donate to? That would be something unheard of, but it might happen considering how trends evolve like paid online. I think there would be too much pushback to maybe Sony having a Patreon directly for their company, Microsoft or Nintendo having a direct Patreon. I'm not saying it would never happen, and ironically, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft would have much more of an argument to make if they actually had donate links online. They could say, listen, hey, it's me, Mario. You would have like a Patreon video with Mario. Hey, it's me, Mario. I brought you lots of amazing games throughout the years. But now it's time to pay up, bitches. Here's my Patreon. Give me lots of money on Patreon, and we'll unlock new games. Woohoo! I don't know. I didn't really have anything there. And towards the end there, it sounded kind of like Mickey Mouse, didn't it? But yeah, that makes more of an argument. These companies that actually create games make more of an argument for people to donate to than a YouTuber who just ironically usually talks about the gaming news. That's a good question to ask any of these YouTubers, that have the donate links. Just go to their channels and be like, hey, why should I donate to you? Would you be in favor of maybe Nintendo starting a Patreon? And then should I directly take my money and donate right to Nintendo?